welcome to another crafty video. Today I've got the Cheerful Chirps collection from Spellbinders to share with you, and I thought I'd just show you the dies up close, the stamps, the sequins, and show you the 5 cards that I have created with this beautiful collection as well. So there are 3 die sets in this collection, and I've got all of mine on a magnetic sheet, and the sets are actually called Flying High, which has got this like beautiful cockatoo in here with some gorgeous foliage pieces, some really lovely leaves and some beautiful little flowers that you can build up as well. We've also got the Free Hugs set that's called Free Hugs Oscar. It's got the word Free Hugs, and then it also has this little fella which I'm presuming is called Oscar. And then we have this beautiful larger set down here that has like the 2 little budgies or lovebirds that is called Pretty Birds as well. So 3 beautiful sets, but you can definitely mix and match them all. All of the different bits of foliage go really nicely with each other. You could have the different birds sitting on the little swing or perch as well. And you can really play around with making the characters interact with each other and have a couple of different characters on different projects as well. 3 of the characters or birds look in one direction and 1 looks in the other, so you can have you know, 2 of them looking at each other on a card, which is really nice. So one of the fantastic things about these die sets that I was finding when I was working with them is the way that Spellbinders have done like these etched lines in here, so you know exactly where you need to place things when you're die cutting all of the different pieces. So for example, this wing piece here, you've got the outside edge there, so then you look over here and that's the same outside edge as this piece, so that piece layers over there. And then you've got this small wing here and that piece layers here. This is the tail, and it even has an etching line on the tail to show exactly where it fits underneath the bottom of the bird as well. Plus with the extra feathers on the head, you've also got the etching lines on there too. You have the etched positions of where the beak is going to go and the little cheek as well, which comes attached to the white of the eye, and this you cut this piece out of white, you put it behind the aperture that cuts in the head, and then you have this little piece here which gives you the pupil of the eye with a little catchlight on, and you stick that over the top in that little etched area as well. So they're so simple to put together. And it's really nice the way that they have grouped things together. So for example, both pieces that go on the tops of the wings are grouped together because you're obviously going to cut them from the same colour to have a symmetrical bird. And like the tail and the actual wing feathers are all cut in the same piece, so you can, you know, cut them all from the same colour, which is so lovely to do. And then with the florals as well, you also have the separate pieces of like foliage to go on top of them, and this is all connected and all of the flowers are connected. So when you're running this through, you may only want the little group of the flowers, but you also get the piece for the single flower as well, and the same with the actual flower buds themselves, and then you layer them on top of each other. So it's really nice that everything is all sort of conjoined together. And like this piece here, this gives a flower. You've got an etched marking there of where the centre goes, and then you've got the top part that goes over the top and sort of sandwiches the centre of the flower in, and then you also have the little stem for that flower as well. And then you have this gorgeous leaf here, and you've also got a lovely branch here as well, which is great for building up scenes, and also that goes along with the pupil of the eye. You also have the legs for the bird as well, and just remember to put the legs behind the body before you stick the tail on, because they're going to want to be sort of in these 2 mounds here. That's where the legs are going to come out of, and then the tail will go behind it as well to give you that sort of perspective. This gorgeous little fella here, the little Oscar one, he's got the separate feathers that go on the top of his head, and again you've got that etched marking there, so you know exactly where they're supposed to go. Same with his little wing as well, and his little beak too, and he's even got a tiny little oval cheek on here as well that you can add on too. He has 2 little nubs where his legs are, so this leg portion goes perfectly behind, and it even has 2 release holes exactly where it should line up, which is very handy as well. So you've got the perfect positioning, and you also have the words free hugs, which fit perfectly in this set of dies. If you have this set with all of these speech bubbles, free hugs fits really nicely in this size, and this is called just speech bubbles, this die set, but it fits really nicely in this size of speech bubble to add those words free hugs onto. And then the third set is the Pretty Birds, which has the two birds that can sit together on the same perch. And you have the long portion that you can cut from a separate colour to be like wooden. You've got the actual perch itself, which can be metal. And then you also have this little piece here, which is like the string that will attach onto the bottom here when you've put your wooden perch on there. And you also have like the string or rope that goes at the top to hang it as well. You've got a lovely heart, because these can be little lovebirds and have the heart between them. You've got some beautiful tiny little foliage pieces here, two tiny little leaves, and then a slightly larger different style of leaf as well that go along with these beautiful flowers. And again, they've grouped everything together, so the flowers both cut together on the same die, plus you have the etched marking on the centre of this one, which is that tiny little centre there on that die, and then you have the centre of this flower too. This flower looks absolutely beautiful. The way it's got all of this etched kind of detail or die cut detail into it that gives this slitted kind of effect, and the way the centre has this piercing sort of detail in, looks really lovely. It's a beautiful little flower, this one. Then you have the two separate birds that are in the opposite directions. And again, everything is etched on here, so you know exactly where everything is going to go. And you have all of their wings on one die, so you can just cut both of these from the same colour, this from the same colour, and then you've instantly got two birds with their wings, and you've got both different like handedness of them in the different positions that they are on the two different birds as well. So absolutely perfect. And you can also shape these a little bit if you want to when you stick them down, so just stick at the top, and then you've got the feather portion sort of poking up a little bit. You've got a double of the eye that goes behind the bird, like I was telling you with the first one. It's also the same for Oscar as well. And then you also have this piece here, which gives you all 4 feet of the little birds and the 2 pupils to go in the eyes as well. And then you also have the beaks separately and the little cheeks separately to build up the rest of the birds too. And in this one you have the little word hello, which is the same font as the free hugs, but this one also has a bubble to go around it as well. So it's a really gorgeous collection of dies, and I've loved working with these. They're really beautiful to play with, and I just love how Spellbinders think about giving you that etched placing to be able to perfectly stack them on top, and the way they give you all of the separate pieces rather than just giving you the full bird and saying snip it at this point and that point and then, you know, cut another one and layer them up. It's all there ready for you, all the separate little pieces, which is really fantastic when you're building little characters like that. Then as part of the collection, there's also a Spread Your Wings sentiment stamp set, which has some really cute and punny sentiments that are going to go perfectly with all of your birds as well. So you've got Hope Your Day takes flight with joy. A little birdie told me it's your day. It's nice to have just it's your day rather than it's your birthday as well, as a different kind of sentiment. Sending cheerful chirps your way, which is really sweet. Happy birthday. Spread your wings and explore. Hope your day soars with laughter and fun. That's really lovely. Fly towards your dreams with courage. Fly high and dream big. Thank you. And then I like this one. You make my world brighter just by being in it. It's a really sweet sentiment, that one. So you've got 10 different sentiments there to choose from to go with any of your birds as well, or you have a couple of die cut ones in there. And they're also bringing out this beautiful selection of sequins. They're called Chameleon Opalescent sequins. I'm not sure if that is the actual colour or whether there is a different colour. I'm not sure, but they're gorgeous, these. They're a holeless sequin as well, so they don't have the hole in them. But they are so beautiful. I used quite a few of these on my projects and there's still tons left, but they're really gorgeous quality as well. They're all perfectly round rather than having to fish out nice ones from there. They're all perfectly round, which is really nice. So that is the whole collection. And then I thought I'd just show you what I've created with it. I didn't film making any of these. I was just having fun a couple of days ago making some beautiful cards. And this one's a shaker. This one's a really old Spellbinders die that I was using in the background there, but just did a shaker. I only used a few of these sequins because I knew I was going to do a vellum shaker and that you wouldn't be able to see them. And then I used some seed beads and some micro beads in there as well to give the noise of a shaker. And I've done 2 cute little pink budgies or lovebirds on this one, and I've just done hello as the sentiment. And I had so much fun building up this arrangement of flowers and foliage, and don't these flowers just look so adorable? I love that cut detail into them and the piercing in the centre of them, and the way that it all sort of matches in with the pierced detail and the cutting detail in the actual birds themselves as well. And I love that the birds are different, even though they're looking at each other and they're like technically the different handedness of each other, they are actually different. If you look at the shapes of their heads, they do differ slightly, so it's not actually a complete carbon copy but reversed. It's actually a different bird, which is really, really lovely. And for this one, I cut them all out of solid colours of cardstock, but then I did a bit of ink blending and a little bit of Copic colouring on them as well, just to give them a little bit of extra depth and a little bit more like feathery sort of detail on them as well. Some of the ones I've left completely plain and they look fantastic, but these ones in particular I did do a little bit of ink blending on the birds, not on the foliage on this one, just on the beautiful birds. But really love how that looks, and I also put some sparkle on their little cheeks as well. And I obviously scattered a bunch of those sequins around everywhere as well. Really, really gorgeous. So that's that one. Then this one is using that little Oscar. Oh, I forgot to show you the embossing folder. So this collection also comes with this bamboo screen embossing folder as well. It's one of their 3D embossing folders, so it gives a really deep impression. And if you like using your tangerine, you want to use your green and your pink plates to get the perfect impression with this kind of a folder. But it's really, really gorgeous and detailed. And here's one that I had already embossed to show you the beautiful depth on here as well. It really does look dimensional and as if it's all tied together with rope as well. Really, really gorgeous. So sorry I forgot to show you that at the beginning. But I've used it on the bottom half of this card. I did actually tear it, although I've pretty much covered up the whole torn edge on here. But I really like how this turned out and the sort of effect that it gave being on the bottom edge of this card. And then this one, there's no ink blending on any of the pieces on this one. It's all just solid colours of cardstock and it still looks so beautiful. So don't think that you have to ink blend or add some Copic colouring or anything to any of your die cuts. They look beautiful just cut out as well. So I've layered up some of the flowers. I've done the actual flower centre in them. I've done the smaller flower in the centre and then put sequins on as well to give a totally different look. And I've also offset them in some areas as well, and I think that looks really, really lovely. And then I've done more like beautiful arrangements. I really enjoyed arranging all of these gorgeous foliage and leafy kind of pieces as well. I've used like 4 of these larger ones, 3 from a dark colour, 1 from a lighter colour, and a lot of the individual kind of leaves as well. And I love just having 1 or 2 floating off. It just looks so beautiful when you arrange it, just having one just floating off there, and then adding the sequins as part of the flower centres and things as well, but also having some of them just nestled in there looks really gorgeous as well. And that's where I've used the free hugs on that speech bubble too. It works really, really nicely, fits perfectly inside that stitching. And you can also make the birds look a little bit different depending on which way you put that sort of catchlight, or could be almost like a reverse pupil as well of the bird as well. So for example on this one I made them so that they're looking at each other, but you could have them equally. You could put the white the opposite of the eye and they'll still look like they're looking at each other, but the light is catching differently as well. So you can really play around with how you position the kind of pupil-y sort of piece of their eye too. But that is the second card that I did. Then this one, I was really playing with the embossing folder in the background of this one. I didn't quite go as in depth as I was going to, but I actually used some clear wax on this first. So I did clear wax on one of those little tiny finger daubers from Nuvo. I thought I still had it on my desk here, but I can't see it. And just carefully brushed it over the surface to just catch these areas. And then I went to town with a bunch of shaded lilac and stormy sky distress inks to kind of deepen the background. I reckon I could probably rub off more of this ink that's on the top here, because of the wax that I put on there, but I did try to keep it quite a subtle sort of background, but really trying to emphasize all of those gorgeous depthy sort of impressions that the 3D folder gives you. And I kept to a really minimal colour scheme on this card as well. So we've got Oscar again, but this time I did a bunch of Copic colouring and trying to give him a very fluffy, feathery kind of effect. I'm not quite sure if I completely achieved it, but I think he looks quite nice sitting on this card. And then for this one I did A Little Birdie Told Me It's Your Day as the sentiment on here, which is from the stamp set. And the yellow sequins didn't go along with this colour scheme, so I just used some clear iridescent ones from my stash that do have holes in the centre. I really love the holeless sequins though. I'm not sure if Spellbinders have different colours in those, but they're absolutely beautiful, those sequins. So that's this card. And to go along with the scribbly border that I drew around my sentiment, I just did a scribbly bordered rectangle so that he had something to sit onto. Rather than having the branch coming in on more of the foliage, I wanted it to be really simple, this card. And then I've got the couple of strips of torn vellum across there as well, to kind of help everything stand out from the background too. Then this one, I just treated myself to this embossing folder. It's a 2D folder, that one, and it's Dina Wakeley. It's called Scribbled Letter. It's really, really gorgeous, the beautiful script on there. And so I used this in the background just onto white card just to give a subtle effect. And then I've done the sort of cockatoo kind of bird, all from different blue tones, and I did ink blend this one as well. So I've kind of given a little bit of depth and dimension, or almost a feathery kind of effect on the bird too, with a bit of ink blending. And I also ink blended all of the foliage on this one as well. So I think it was cracked pistachio I brought in from the sort of base points of the lighter leaves, and then it was pine needles on the sort of base points of the slightly darker green leaves as well. And then I also brought in some shaded lilac on some of the flowers, and I've done a little bit of sparkly gel pen on some of those flower heads as well, just to sort of give it a little bit of something else. And it goes with the clear iridescent sequins that I had used on here as well. I just wanted to give it a subtle kind of sparkly effect, but I think those sort of details just finish off a card really nicely. Also, this bird, you can see what I was talking about. This still kind of looks like he's looking this way, but the catch light is just on the top part of his eye. But you can sort of play around with the positioning of where you want that tiny little white dot to go. It looks nice either way up, so however you want to position it. Just probably avoid making them look cross-eyed if you've got the two birds together, but I still think they work really, really nicely whichever way you choose. This one also, I was trying to go with like a reef kind of design, so I actually took all of these lighter coloured sort of leafy pieces but cut them in half, so they're actually half pieces going all the way around, and then I used the flowers and some of the extra little leaves to kind of build it in and create more of a wreath kind of design with the bird on the branch in the foreground. And then I've done Hope Your Day Takes Flight with Joy as a sentiment, and I used just a black fine liner to do my scribbly border around that and cut around it as well. And I decided to make sure I picked a sentiment that would go around his beak nicely and not hang off the card too far, because I was tempted on using that one that I really liked on the side of the stamp set, but it was too long and it was going to come off the edge of the card, so I went with that one instead. But he's so adorable. And then finally, this one's just really simple. I used that same embossing folder, the Scribbled Letter, onto a light grey kind of coloured cardstock, and just tore a piece to go across the middle, just as a really subtle background effect. And then I actually used the beautiful sort of perch for them both to be sitting on for this card, and I've kind of coloured them like parakeets as well for this one. So I don't think I did any ink blending on these. I think they're just the plain cardstock, but it just still looks so beautiful. Just simply cutting them out of different colours, sticking them together, leaving their wings not stuck at the bottom to give a little bit of extra dimension as well. And with the light pink cheeks on these ones, they just look so sweet, and with the little pink heart above as well. And I've done a little bit of sparkly gel pen on them too, but really like how this one turned out. And again, I used those yellow sequins on the centres of the flowers in these as well. The yellow is like the perfect colour to go along with this collection, because depending on what bird you're making, you're likely to often give them yellow feet and a yellow beak. So I know these two I haven't, and this one I haven't either, but you're probably either going to include a yellow beak or some sort of yellow centre to a flower somewhere. So the yellow sequins go really, really nicely with this whole collection. Oh, and the sentiment on this one, I did sending cheerful chirps your way, and I just stamped that directly onto the card as well. Oh, and actually, I didn't say this either. I added little eyelashes to one of the little birds on this one as well, just to make it look really sweet and cute too. So yeah, those are all of the cards that I created. So just hope you enjoyed this quick little overview of the Cheerful Chirps collection from Spellbinders. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you again in the next video. Bye!